And I guess I never saw it as a ritual until now, realizing that these moments of slowing down might actually be the ways where I am able to bring a little bit more peace and calmness into my life. I am about to paint in a little while. Before every painting session, there's like this sense of anticipation, like, how's it gonna turn out? Am I even a good painter? And am I just being like this imposter person who is pretending to be an artist? Like, that is something that happens to me before every painting session. I don't know whether this feeling is just a natural feeling that is deeply embedded into people who create, because I heard a while ago that, Vincent van Gogh, like, he doubted himself all the time when he was painting, and apparently he hated like most of the paintings that he made. So if that's the case, then maybe this is just a feeling that I'm meant to sort of not push away. This writer that I really admire, who is a fellow creative and a musician based in Berlin, Jim Croft, you should definitely check out his writing material on his Substack. It's really incredible. And he said that a creative act is like trying to fight with Medusa, this mythical creature lady who has a human head and lots of snakes above her head. And if you chop off one of the snakes, basically it doubles or triples, and more snake heads like regrow. And it's this idea of our fears and our sort of doubts and everything that creeps up that is a negative thing in our creative journey. Is he talks about how it's like dealing with the Medusa. And he said that what he's learned to do is, instead of just fighting off the fears and fighting off the doubts and fighting off sometimes the pain of creation, is to just befriend it, like befriending the imperfection, befriending the imposter syndrome, befriending the fear. And that has made me realize that actually it's always something that I've tried to do. And it made me want to do that even more. He specifically talked about befriending the sort of emotional turmoil that comes up before we paint. And I really liked the way he put it, not to push fear aside, not to think that if we're not feeling inspired that we shouldn't be creating, because that's not the point. The point is, even if we feel afraid as creatives, even if we have these doubts and imposter syndrome and fears and the thought that, nothing better is going to come out of what we've made previously, that we should turn up anyway and befriend it and just begin. And that's why I think the beginnings of every creative session has become even more powerful for me, because in those moments where I am putting away the paintings that I did in the previous session, when I'm setting up my laptop to view the lesson for today, when I am dragging my trolley to get my paint palette ready, like, these are the moments where I can't run away from whatever emotion that I have, and I'm sort of trying to just stay as neutral as possible and just start to get things ready one at a time. And that's normally what the beginnings of most of my painting sessions are for me. It's this very kind of mellow and methodical kind of process. I want to normalize this type of feeling and this type of fear, because I don't think as artists we start every session feeling amazing and perfect. And so I hope that gives a little bit of a glimpse into the beginning parts of my painting session.
this tech called indirect painting. So you guys have to do a selfie self, and it's of course of you. So this is my source. So your picture needs to have really good lighting. It can't be dark. Your palette into two sections, your warms and your cools. And if you do have the radiant colors, there's only 8. So there's 4 warm, 4 cools. And
So I'm just about to review the lesson for today on the screen behind me. And this is the part of the pre-painting preparation process where I start feeling a little bit calmer, because there's something about listening to the tutors that really make me feel like it's a grounding space. I realize that I am not doing this by myself. There is already a pathway that others have mapped out before me, and I just need to follow it step by step. And this is, I think, a lot of the case, especially with things that we are challenged by or procrastinate a lot on, is we tend to overthink things. So already before we do anything, our mind is already like, oh my god. For example, say if we didn't want to work out and go to the gym, there's this voice already saying, oh my god, I have to get changed, I have to get myself in my car and have to drive all the way 20-30 minutes to the venue, and then I have to walk from the venue. And it always seems to me that in a lot of the things that are worthwhile doing, there are most of the times like this pre-main event period where it's a little bit more mundane, it's a little bit more boring, it's not really exciting, and can be a bit tedious. Especially at this day and age, we are so distracted and we are so used to 20-second reels, 30-second to 1-minute videos, and I find myself being distracted so much, especially as a person who is highly distractible and highly immune to boredom. I find myself preempting a lot of things and having many thoughts of this sort of feeling initially before I do anything. And that is why it's so important for me to do these mundane actions step by step. And I've sort of learned to take things as they are. Just do one thing, move on to another, then move on to another, and then eventually I will arrive on the canvas. I wish I could say that I do things very quickly and that I just sort of get everything ready out and I'm there on the canvas ready to paint, because that's not really normally the case for me. A lot of the times I do have to slow myself down mentally and physically just to prepare myself. And I guess I never saw it as a ritual until now, realizing that these moments of slowing down might actually be the ways where I am able to bring a little bit more peace and calmness into my life. So yesterday I did a self-portrait sketch from a selfie that I took, and it turned out pretty well. I realized that I don't have as big of a face. Today I'm actually deciding to paint from the same selfie photo for my self-portrait painting. So I'm actually going to use this sketch as a reference to have better understanding of where the dark and the light areas of my painting should be. I've never really done a painting based on a sketch study I've done yet so far, so it's going to be interesting to see where that takes me. So I've just finished the first layer of this portrait painting, and we've done a underpainting with Radiant Colors by Gamblin, and I think it looks like me, which is a good direction that this is going in. This stage where the painting is in its first layer especially, and then even up until the second layer, is where it can be very uncomfortable for me, because a lot of the times things are not coming into full form yet. There's no complete resolution just yet, and I just have to trust the process. I just have to trust the process and just take it one layer at a time, one step at a time. And I know that I sound like a broken record when I say these things, but that really helps me with my own painting process, because if that's not the case, then the other part is I can freak out and I can be like, oh my God, this painting is gonna go horrible. And I don't really want that for myself. I want to be able to enjoy the process as much as possible. And a lot of the times, this enjoyment just means calming down and just taking it one step at a time. I've realized that painting just comes down to technique more than talent, and learning how to use the colors in different areas of the painting and seeing it from that perspective is also helping me a lot more to approach my own paintings more objectively rather than judging it in such an extreme way. Because I'm doing an art program, basically with every painting that we do, it's in a different technique, in a different style, and that can be very unnerving sometimes. I was telling this to a friend of mine, and he said that, this is how it's meant to be, because I'm going through a program. Their responsibility and also their objective is to basically like push us and get us outside of our comfort zones and trying different techniques, different colors, and different ways of working and thinking about things. So because my mind has been stretched so much, I think that is where my discomfort is coming from currently when I'm doing paintings, because I'm so stretched with my techniques that there's not really like a solid ground to land on where I know exactly what my technique is, what I want to do, when I want to do it. And it's a lot of the times it's very unpredictable. I literally don't know what's gonna be next in my next lesson. I just take it literally one lesson at a time. So if you are someone who is currently learning new things at the moment, maybe this will give you some comfort that perhaps the discomfort that we are going through is really normal, and trust the process, right? That's what I keep telling myself every day, even though it's really hard to believe. I keep telling myself, trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. The ending of my painting process is quite similar to the way I started, but the only difference is now I've experienced this crescendo of moments, and it's only when I start to do these mundane processes of cleaning my brushes and wiping down my palette, putting the solvents back into my solvent jar. It's only in those mundane actions where I actually start to process what the heck I've just done. When I do start my cleaning process and tidying things, that's when I look at the painting and I just observe all the colors and the shapes, the textures that have been formed, and even when I am cleaning my brushes at the sink, I start letting the emotions come in fully. And I don't know, it's just a real sense of not only accomplishment but also peace that I get. I don't know whether it's because there's such a build up that happens before a painting session, or whether as creatives, like, we all have this almost pent up creative energy within us, and during a painting session, that's when my creative energy gets used up. And because of that, similar to when, for example, we've done like an intensive hiking trip, and the next day we feel completely exhausted but completely satisfied, and completely almost like in this state of stillness and peace, because there isn't this leftover kind of agitated, restless energy with us anymore, because we've completely exhausted our bodies. It's sort of like that feeling I get every time I do a painting or a drawing session, especially in a painting session. And it feels really good. It feels really good. And again, these mundane actions of cleaning and tidying and organizing actually makes me feel like I am coming back into my body again. I want to preface that not every painting session is perfect. And a lot of the times, the feeling of peace and stillness also comes from, I think, trying to have a perspective of trust and a perspective of faith that layer by layer, brushstroke by brushstroke, the painting is going to take shape in the end.
I see a new horizon. My 2 feet steady on the ground. With you I found my reason. Yeah, to keep chasing what we found. You're a holiday, a break from the rain. Sipping the sunshine, come take me away. New horizon. Finally I can see again. You're a dream, 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 dream. Standing in your presence, carry me away, honey. A dream, 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 dream. Make me lose my senses, carry me away, away. Dream, dream, dream. Come take me away. You're a dream, dream, dream. Standing in your presence, carry me away, honey. A dream, 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 dream. Make me lose my senses, carry me away, away. A dream, dream, dream. Come take me away. My head above the water. Finally I can breathe again.